Hi, this is Caleb with Dice Cut, and today I wanted to show you how you can get high quality steaks for a lower price by purchasing the whole cut of beef from a warehouse like Costco. And what I have for you today is a whole top loin from Costco, and it is prime graded, and so this should produce very well marbled steaks. And with a discount that I got, this is probably, it cost me roughly $7.50 per pound, which is a lot less than what you would pay normally at a butcher shop or at a grocery store that does happen to sell prime, which is not always easy to find. Anyhow, I wanted to do this video so that you would see how quick and easy it is, and you can save money and have delicious steak. Alright, so I've got my top loin here. I basically just cut the package off and cleaned up some of the liquid that will come in the package, so don't be afraid about that. Just a couple notes about the top loin. You can kind of tell where it was situated on the cow by looking at the ends. Here on this end, which is the end facing the front of the cow, the muscle will look uniform, because this is just one big fat muscle here. On the other end of the top loin, you'll see 2 or 3 muscles. 1, 2, and 3. And this bottom muscle here is actually the sirloin that's starting to bleed in. This goes to the back of the cow. So just if you're curious, that's how you know where the meat was situated. So basically what I've done is I've measured the length of the top loin. It's roughly 15 to 16 inches, and it's a total of 14 3/4 pounds. And so what I want to do, I figure I don't want any steaks that are under an inch in thickness. So I'm probably going to go for about 15 steaks or so, which will give me roughly 15 1-pound steaks or close to it. So I think what I'm going to do is actually cut it on the fat side, and what I'll do is I've got a 10-inch chef's knife, which is nice because it has length to be able to go the full width of the meat. It's sharp, so you definitely want a sharp knife when you are cutting this. And so I think I'll just start off by cutting just a little bit off the edge. And I'm just kind of making a gentle seesawing motion and pulling back with the full length of the blade. You can kind of see a much cleaner cut. Again, this is the side facing the back of the cow, and you can see there's more of a varied texture in terms of the muscles that are in this side. So that steak, for someone who likes a more consistent steak, this is probably the side not to offer them. You want to give them a steak from the front end of the cow. So I'm just going to continue cutting steaks about an inch or so apart. This I'll probably cook up this evening. You'll notice that the fat cap is quite thick, which if you don't want all that on your plate, you can also trim that off. You could trim it off beforehand if you wanted to. I'm not. I would trim it when I thaw them out and I'm actually going to eat the steak. You can just go ahead and trim off that fat up the top. You could cook with it first and then trim it off. It's really just kind of your preference. Nice sharp knife helps to give really good clean cuts, and now you're starting to get into the part of the meat that looks more consistent. You can see the marbling on prime steak. That's going to be a really delicious steak. At this point, my only step left is to wrap these up so that they are preserved for as long as possible. And I'm not going to do a video on how to do that. I'm just going to point out what products I use and the steps I do. I use cling wrap and freezer paper. Let me bring that into view here. There we go. Cling wrap and freezer paper. You could just use freezer paper, but I'm a little bit, I guess, I just want to be extra careful, and so I use the cling wrap first. Basically, I just wrap each steak individually in cling wrap, and then I put each cling wrapped steak in the freezer paper. Okay, and the instructions on how to use the freezer paper are on the box. So just follow those simple steps. Really the only thing to remember is put the food on the shiny side, okay, and make sure there's as little air as possible. Tape it up and then remember to write the date on it so you know how old your steaks are. And basically these will keep for up to a year or even longer. I've taken steaks out of the freezer well past a year. But not too much past that because I'm usually wanting to eat them. Well, there you have it, YouTube. 14 prime graded New York steaks, aka top loin, for about half the price at least that you would find it at a butcher or a grocery store, and maybe even a third of the price in some cases. Just buy it whole. Cut up yourself. You've got a little bit of extra fat to deal with, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem if you have a sharp knife and just a little bit of time on your hand. Well, hope this was helpful, and until later, I'm Caleb with Dice Cut. See you later. Peace.